Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Our mission here, as always, is pretty simple. We take these intensely complex, sometimes massive bodies of work.
Huge sometimes.
Huge, yeah.
Mhm.
And we try to surgically extract the knowledge you need to be well-informed and to do it quickly, but also deeply.
And today,
Wow!
today we are wrestling with a source that, it really defies any simple classification. It's a text so ambitious it tries to blend cosmology, mythology, and pure mathematics.
Into a single unified theory, no less.
Right. We are diving into the legend mind, zero to infinity. The author just identifies as SKR, or the legend.
The legend. You have to say it with some weight.
You really do. And look, this isn't just a book. It's more like an intellectual manifesto. It spans everything from, personal development philosophy all the way to quantum physics.
That's the kind of scope we're dealing with. And because it's so massive, we're going to focus, really focus like a laser beam on one single chapter.
Chapter 24.
Chapter 24, The Digit Story. And this chapter is the author's attempt to categorize the entire universe using nothing more than the 9 basic mathematical digits.
It sounds incredible when you say it like that.
It is. The goal is to provide a complete map of cosmic relationships. So planetary, mythological, philosophical, all of it structured around the numbers 1 through 9.
And you really have to understand the author's premise to get it. It's laid out right in the preface. They call the book an eye-opening journey.
An eye-opening journey, okay.
And that journey is driven by answering what they call curious questions. But the how is what matters. It's this intensely interdisciplinary approach.
Right, so they're not just sticking to one field.
Not at all. They smash together science, math, religion, physics, cosmology, suggesting that these aren't separate fields at all. They're just different lenses, all focusing on the same ultimate truth.
It's a very high-stakes venture. You're basically saying all of human knowledge can be unified.
Yeah.
And to really get the spirit of this text, we have to acknowledge the bedrock it's all got on. And that's a deep, personal, spiritual dedication. The book is dedicated to the author's immortal guru, the Lord Shiva.
And that one line immediately signals to you, the listener, that we are not entering a purely scientific or, a secular space here.
Not at all.
This is a search for truth that is born out of a really profound worldview, one where mathematics and deity are, intrinsically linked. You can't separate them.
And you see this dedication pop up again and again through the text. There's this recurring mantra, J-I Gyuryu Divaye.
But the author also gives us the striking acronym for their own chosen title, Legend. And I think it perfectly foreshadows the journey we're about to take.
It really does. It's worth spending a moment on this
Yeah.
just to unpack it because it's like a mission statement for the whole text.
It is. Okay, so Legend. It stands for L, legacy.
Legacy. Okay.
Even.
Even like the number.
Yes.
Yeah.
G, Garodad, E, end, and not,
Yeah.
and D, demons.
Legacy, even God in, not demons. So you have the L and the G legacy in God, and that kind of establishes the spiritual, the historical, the divine context.
Sure.
And then you get the E's and the N and the D even end, not demons.
Yeah.
It's a strange combination.
It is, but it's so deliberate. The inclusion of even and end links this spiritual quest directly to mathematical concepts and existential limits.
Yeah.
The nature of infinity versus finite existence.
And pairing Jah Diamant with demons right there in the title.
Instantly sets up the whole binary, the ethical structure that just dominates the entire book. This is a guide that's operating from a very clearly defined cosmic worldview where math actually informs the battle between good and evil.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to say it, but this highly spiritual and mythological inspiration, it forms the actual functional bedrock for a discussion about, of all things, mathematical digits.
Yeah.
The author explains in the acknowledgement section that they were greatly inspired by Lord Shiva's role in television.
In television, yeah.
And his lifestyle from primordial time. And this isn't just some casual interest. This is something that drove the author to live with zero attraction of the world.
And to start living alone.
It's exactly. Specifically to pursue and answer these curious questions.
And what's so fascinating about that origin story is how directly it connects the search for cosmic and mathematical truth to this internal personal sacrifice, to enlightenment.
So, to the author, finding out where the number 5 belongs in the universe requires this almost quasi-monastic commitment.
It does. It suggests that these profound mathematical truths, they're only revealed through deep, dedicated focus and, the rejection of worldly distractions. It puts a really high, almost spiritual price tag on knowledge.
It tells you that every calculation, every single placement in the matrix we're about to analyze is backed by years of singular focused dedication.
Yeah.
And Chapter 24, the digit story, it doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Yeah.
It's part of a larger, very carefully structured work. We probably need a quick conceptual map just to place this chapter properly within the author's architectural design.
Definitely. The book is structured into these conceptual units. It starts with Unit 0, Legend Self-Improvement.
Self-improvement, okay.
And this focuses entirely on internal preparation. You have topics like mind, origin, or evolution, and crucially, the distinction between information vs. knowledge.
So that's the internal purification, the groundwork you need to do before you even start the inquiry.
Precisely. Then you get Unit 1, which offers 10 shades of the legend. This is more of an observational unit.
You see that in the titles, right? Think like a monk, speak like a politician.
Worship like a devotees. Yeah, it's about ways to navigate and observe the external world using the internal growth you gained in Unit 0.
And then we get to where we are focusing. Chapter 24 is squarely in Unit 2, the legend, unique questions.
This is the real application. The introduction to Unit 2 clarifies that this whole section is the practical application of Unit 0, the internal growth, and Unit 1, the observational unit. This is where the big universe-level questions finally get addressed.
And here's the crucial caveat. This is the thing that I think defines the author's intent for this entire unit. The author states that Unit 2 deals with world-demanded questions.
Right, the big ones. Infinity, Earth, multiple universes, digits.
All of it. But, and this is the key, they provide these answers in a rough way, or big picture, not in perfect way.
That is the most critical insight into the author's humility and their intent. They are not claiming to have the final answer.
Not at all.
They specifically mention they're presenting this data roughly so that, and this is a quote, many intelligent persons as scientists, astrology, mathematician can go deep in this question to get perfect results.
It's an open source challenge to the entire intellectual community.
It really is.
They're providing the blueprint for a cosmological math system, and then they're inviting the world's experts to come in and refine it.
It's an intellectual starting gun. They are basically saying, look, I have laid the groundwork through my spiritual and focused inquiry. Now you, the professional, apply your technical skills to perfect it. It's this remarkable fusion of, I don't know, mystic insight and scientific aspiration.
So let's accept that invitation. Let's jump straight into the core of Chapter 24, the digit story.
Let's do it.
The author starts with a really foundational mathematical premise. We have total 9 basic digits in mathematics discipline. Simple enough.
Very simple. And the rest of the chapter is dedicated to giving those 9 digits a life, a family, and a moral alignment.
And their method for doing this, for analyzing the nature of digits, is something they call Table 23.1. It's this stunningly efficient 3x3 matrix.
And that matrix is the central thesis of the entire chapter. It instantly connects these abstract numbers to concrete, living, planetary roles in the cosmos. It's an exercise in cosmological categorization.
And this table, it divides the 9 digits in 2 distinct ways. So you have both a horizontal and a vertical categorization system. This allows every single digit to possess 2 distinct defining characteristics.
Right.
Let's start with the rows. This is the family structure.
Okay, so the rows define the familial role within each of the 3 major cosmic groups. Row 1 is designated as father.
The father, the progenitor.
Row 2 is the guru, or guide or so, the source of instruction, of wisdom.
In row 3.
And row 3 is the son, specifically the first son.
So this creates 3 distinct hierarchical familial roles that every single digit from 1 to 9 has to inhabit.
It has to fit into one of those slots.
And what's interesting is that the author uses 3 rows for 9 digits, which that immediately implies that there are 3 separate families operating in parallel.
Right, rather than one single lineage from 1 to 9.
Exactly. And those families are defined by the vertical axis, the columns. And that's what provides the mythological and, I guess, the ethical alignment.
Correct. The columns break the cosmos into its constituent spiritual and moral groups. So column 1 is Gadi.
The forces of divine order.
Column 2 is human. The forces of neutrality, of earthly life.
And column 3 has to be
Demon, the forces of chaos, or, adversarial action.
So a digit doesn't just have a role, father, guru, or son. It has a realm where that role is executed, God, human, or demon. This is really systematic.
It's incredibly systematic.
Let's walk through this matrix then, row by row. This is the blueprint for the entire system.
Okay, starting with the father row. This is the beginning of each lineage. We have the digits 1, 2, and 3 arrayed across the cosmos.
1, 2, 3.
Digit 1 in the God column is the sun.
the divine progenitor. Makes sense.
Digit 2 in the human column is the moon.
The earthly progenitor. Okay.
And digit 3 in the demon column is Mars, the adversarial progenitor.
Sun, moon, Mars, God, human, demon. It's very clean.
It is.
Okay, so then we move to the middle row, the guru row. These are the guides for each family, representing the forces of knowledge and instruction.
Right. So digit 4 in the God column is Jupiter.
Jupiter, the great teacher.
Digit 5 in the human column is Mercury.
Communication, intellect.
And digit 6 in the demon column is Venus.
Venus. That's an interesting choice for the demon guru.
We'll get to why. It's a critical choice.
Okay. And finally, the sun row. This is the first offspring of each realm, the figures destined to inherit the family legacy.
Right. So digit 7 in the God column is Saturn.
Saturn.
Digit 8 in the human column is Uranus.
And that leaves 9.
And digit 9 in the demon column is Neptune.
Wow. Okay, that is a lot of information presented very, very fast. But if you look at the structure, it's quite elegant. Digits 1, 2, 3 are all fathers.
Right.
4, 5, 6 are all gurus. And 7, 8, 9 are all sons.
Yes.
So this suggests the primary structural identity of a number is its role, its position in the hierarchy, and not necessarily its numerical value.
And what's fascinating here is that immediate juxtaposition. You have basic mathematical digits, 1 through 9, things we use every day, and they're suddenly paired with planetary names and these deep mythological roles. It asks us to look at the numbers 1, 4, and 7 and not just see numbers.
You're supposed to see a father, a guru, and a son.
Standing together in the divine realm, the text treats the number system not as some abstract human invention, but as a direct blueprint for cosmic reality.
But I have to ask a question here, because if the author is emphasizing this kind of order, why do they place Mars, which is digit 3, as the demon father, and the sun, digit 1, as the godfather, but then they stick the moon, digit 2, in the middle as the human father?
Yeah.
That seems to disrupt what you'd expect, like a sequential power ranking or just the natural order of the numbers. You'd think the God column might be 1, 2, 3 or something like that.
And that question cuts right to the heart of the author's methodology. The matrix is suggesting that the relationship between the numbers 1, 2, and 3 is purely one of shared role. They are all fathers.
So their fatherhood is what unites them.
Exactly. But their essence, God, human, demon, that's what dictates their specific identity as sun, moon, and Mars. So the numbers 1, 2, and 3 are separated by their cosmic allegiance, not by their numerical proximity.
And their allegiance is defined by the column.
Which, as the author states, will be defined by logical analysis, not, and this is important, not by historical myth.
And the author kind of preempts any critiques of this strange synthesis by going back to a point they made earlier in the book, back in Unit 0.
They do.
They explicitly state that much of what exists in the world is, and I'm quoting here, illusion, information, or historical myth which has no logic behind for their existence.
And that links directly back to that chapter on information vs. knowledge. The author is signaling to us, hey, while I'm using traditional mythological names, sun, moon, Mars, I'm going to filter and recategorize the traditional stories through the logical structure of this mathematical matrix.
So this sets the stage, particularly for that human column, where the author basically promises to challenge the existing, commonly accepted myths.
The implication is clear. If the traditional myth doesn't fit the mathematical structure, then the myth is probably the illusion information.
And we should just discard it.
We should discard it. The math is the higher truth.
All right, now we are ready. Let's go! Let's go, as you said, line by line in movie style into the rationale for each of these columns. This is where we explore the specific details, the author's reasoning. This is the why.
This is a justification for splitting the numbers 1 through 9 this way, and we should start on the safest ground, the God-y column.
The God column, digits 1, 4, and 7.
Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn. And according to the text, this grouping aligns, well, pretty much perfectly with established Hindu mythology that lends immediate credibility to the structure.
Okay, so digit 1, that's the father of God, named as the sun. This seems very straightforward. The sun is the source of all life and light, the cosmic father figure.
Can't argue with that one. Now, moving to digit 4, this is the guru, named as Jupiter, known mythologically as Vrihaspati.
Vrihaspati.
And Vrihaspati is the absolute archetype of the spiritual teacher and advisor. He's the guider of the entire God family. His essence is wisdom, its knowledge, its adherence to Dharma, righteous duty.
So it's perfectly logical that the digital representation of the god's guidance would be Jupiter.
It fits perfectly. And then digit 7. This is the sun, named as Saturn, known mythologically as Shani. Shani is considered the first son of the god family.
And this is a really fascinating choice for the son of the sun, because Shani, or Saturn, is famously associated with, well, with karma, discipline, sometimes severity.
Right. The father, the sun, is all about light and life-giving energy. But the sun, Saturn, is associated with justice and long-term consequences. It's a very interesting dynamic.
But the mythological support is strong here, you're saying?
It is. Sun is the father, Shani, Saturn is his son, and Jupiter, Vrihaspati, serves as the primary spiritual guide for the gods. So this column uses the mathematical sequence 1, 4, 7 to validate and structure an existing accepted lineage of divine power. It works.
Okay, so that column feels solid. Now let's move across to the complete opposite end of the ethical spectrum, the demon column.
The adversarial forces. This comprises digits 3, 6, and 9, Mars, Venus, and Neptune.
And this column details the lineage of the Rakshas.
The demon forces, yes. Here, digit 3 is named as Mars, and it's considered the father of the demon group. The author links this directly to the concept of the Mangala Rakshas.
The Mars demon.
The Mars demon. And astrologically, Mars is associated with aggression, war, raw energy, confrontation, all the classic traits you would expect in the progenitor of the demon family.
Okay, that fits. And then we get to the crucial central figure in this column, digit 6. This is the guru of the demon family, named as Venus or Sukracharya.
And this placement is absolutely vital. It's the key to the whole system because it explains how the forces of darkness are able to compete with the forces of light who are led by Jupiter.
It's the ultimate check and balance.
It is. Jupiter, Vrihaspati, digit 4, guides the gods. But Venus, Sukracharya, digit 6, guides the demons. And what makes Sukracharya the ideal demon guru is his legendary wisdom, and more specifically, his unparalleled knowledge of the Mrita Sanjivani Vidya.
Which is the knowledge of resurrection.
The knowledge of resurrection,
Yeah.
exactly. This is the secret knowledge that allows the demons to bring their fallen warriors back to life.
So if the gods are fighting the demons, and the demons can constantly be resurrected by their guru,
The conflict becomes endless. It's a stalemate. Sukracharya is therefore the indispensable guide and the great strategic advantage for the demon family. The number 6 is the mathematical representation of this adversarial wisdom.
and finally, that leaves digit 9, the first son of the demon family.
Named as Neptune, and known mythologically as Ketu, so this pairing establishes Mars as the demon father, with Neptune as the son, all of them guided by Venus.
So again, the structure grounds the numbers 3, 6, 9 within an established, albeit adversarial mythological framework. We see this coherent system where the divine and the demonic have these mirrored structures of father, guru, and son.
It's a perfect parallel.
But now we arrive at the center column, the human column, digits 2, 5, and 8. And this is the column where the author openly breaks ranks with tradition.
This is where he declares his independence from history in favor of what he sees as the pure mathematical logic of the matrix.
This is really the narrative climax of the chapter, isn't it? It's where the author applies that unit zero filter of information vs. knowledge.
It is. The author's matrix hypothesis for the human column is this. 2 is the moon, the father. 5 is Mercury, or Bud, the guru. And 8 is Uranus, who he identifies as Rahu, the sun.
Okay, let's look at the gurus first. Mercury, Bud, number 5, is the guru of the human column, and Mercury is traditionally associated with intellect, communication, logic, trade.
All the characteristics that define advanced human civilization.
Right, so that part feels cohesive. It works.
It does. And moon, digit 2, as the father, is also plausible. The moon governs the mind, emotions, the tides, the very basis of our cyclical emotional existence on Earth.
But the issue, the real conflict, lies squarely with digit 8, Uranus, who is identified here as Rahu the sun.
And the author knows it. He immediately points out that this grouping conflicts sharply with traditional Hindu history concerning Rahu and Ketu.
Which we just saw in the demon column as Neptune, digit 9.
Exactly. And we really must detail the traditional myth to understand the magnitude of what the author is challenging here.
Okay, lay it out.
The story is a cosmic thriller during the churning of the ocean for Amrit.
The pious water, the elixir of immortality.
Right. A demon named Svarbhanu sneaks in and tries to drink it alongside the gods, but Vishnu catches him, just as the demon has tasted a few drops.
And in a swift act of cosmic justice.
Vishnu uses the Sudarshana chakra and slices the demon's body in two.
And those two pieces become the shadow entities. Rahu, the disembodied head, and Ketu, the body below the neck.
Correct. And in traditional astrology, Rahu and Ketu aren't even true planets. They're invisible shadow nodes, the intersection points where the moon's orbital path crosses the sun's.
So they're always paired, and they're always associated with demonic or shadowy influence, linked to eclipses and misfortune. They are fundamentally demonic entities.
And their origin story is foundational to the mythos.
And the author's response to this deeply embedded, millennia-old story.
He explicitly states this traditional narrative is not the real story or may be real.
Review real, he hedges a bit.
A little, but he views it as illusion information. He is saying point blank, I understand this is what your priests and your books tell you, but the underlying mathematical truth contradicts it.
It's a radical act of intellectual defiance. The mathematical structure of his matrix dictates a different relationship.
It does. Rahu, which he identifies as Uranus, digit 8, belongs not in the demon column with his counterpart Ketu, Neptune, digit 9.
But in the human column, as the son of the moon, digit 2.
This synthesis suggests a complete realignment, where Rahu is fundamentally part of the human lineage, not the mnemonic one.
That's astonishing. It reframes Rahu from a demon focused on swallowing the sun and causing eclipses to a planetary son of humanity. I want to press this point, though. Why would the author make such an explosive claim and then immediately back off? He notes that this grouping say different things about Moon and Uranus as planet, and then adds the disclaimer, it is true or not, I don't know.
Well, I think that uncertainty is deliberate, and it serves the entire purpose of Unit 2.
Which was to provide a rough way or big picture.
Exactly, so that others, scientists, astrologers, mathematicians, can investigate further and achieve perfect results. By pointing out this conflict in the human column, the author forces the reader to make a choice, which is the higher truth, the established historical narrative, the myth.
Or the internal consistency of the mathematical framework, the matrix.
It's an open source challenge to history. The underlying order the author implies has to be mathematical, and if your history doesn't fit the math, then your history is what's flawed.
And this focus on Uranus, or Rahu, as the human son, paired with the moon as the father. What does that suggest? It suggests that the forces associated with Uranus rebellion, innovation, sudden shifts, long-range vision, are fundamentally human traits.
Descended from the emotional, cyclical nature of the moon.
Right.
And if you look at Rahu traditionally, it represents ambition and obsession, incredibly powerful human qualities. So placing it as the son of the human column gives those qualities an earthly rather than a demonic foundation.
So the author is taking a figure traditionally viewed as purely adversarial and suggesting he's actually part of our heritage.
It's a complete philosophical shift, and it's dictated entirely by the number 8's position in that 3x3 matrix.
Okay, so we've established the three families, God, human, and demon, and their respective hierarchical lines. But if you look across that middle row, the gurus.
Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus.
Right. We find one of the most structurally unifying and I think philosophically profound insights in the entire chapter.
The gurus are the intellectual linchpins of the whole cosmos. You have Vrihaspati, who is Jupiter, digit 4, the guru of the god family.
Right.
You have Bud, Mercury, digit 5, the guru of the human family. And Sukracharya, Venus, digit 6, the guru of the demon family. Now, these three figures, they govern entirely separate, often adversarial cosmic realms.
But they occupy mathematically sequential positions, 4, 5, 6.
Exactly. And the author provides a staggering familial explanation for this unity.
What is it?
He states that these three gurus are real brothers.
Real brothers.
Having one father, having three wives who give birth to these three gurus.
Wow. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, the significance of that is revolutionary for understanding this cosmology.
It is. Despite their divergent duties as guiders of God, human, and demon groups, the forces of light, neutrality, and darkness, the source of wisdom is fundamentally unified.
They share a common paternal source, even though they were born of different mothers.
Right. This suggests that the guiding forces of the cosmos across all three ethical realms originate from a single foundational source of knowledge.
So the divisions between good, neutral, and demonic are what, necessary for operational conflict? The engine of the universe?
I think so. But the ultimate foundation of instruction and wisdom is shared. It transforms the cosmic conflict from, an absolute moral war into something more like a functionally managed system run by three related intellectual forces.
It means that the highest form of knowledge, which is represented by the sequential digits 4, 5, and 6 Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, is neutral in its origin.
Yes, it's the application of that knowledge that determines whether it serves the gods, humans, or demons.
This anchors the entire system in an underlying philosophical unity. The universe is managed by a brotherhood.
That's a great way to put it.
That is the highest level insight from the Matrix, I think. A revelation about the unified nature of cosmic guidance. Now, after laying out this magnificent cosmic map, the chapter transitions, abruptly yet logically, into the incredibly practical.
Yes. If the author just established a universal mathematical order, the logical next step is to explore how that order impacts our individual human experience on Earth.
How does this celestial blueprint translate into positive results in daily life?
And this leads us directly to the practical application of planetary alignment through the listing of lucky colors of 7 days or planets.
So the author grounds this high cosmology in actionable daily life advice. They present this list as a mechanism for maximizing positive results by harmonizing your attire with the planetary energy of the day.
It's vibrational alignment made practical.
I love that.
Okay.
Now, let's detail this list exactly as it is specified. Let's match the day, the planet, and the recommended color that's derived from this whole numerological framework.
Okay. So Sunday, associated with the SNM, who we know is digit 1, the Godfather should align with the color red.
Sunday, red. Got it.
Monday, the moon digit 2, the human father aligns with orange.
Monday, orange.
Tuesday, Mars digit 3, the demon father aligns with yellow.
Interesting. Yellow for the demon father. Okay.
Wednesday, Mercury digit 5, the human guru aligns with green.
Green for Mercury. That seems traditional.
Thursday, Jupiter digit 4, the god guru aligns with blue.
Blue for Jupiter. Okay.
Friday, Venus digit 6, the demon guru aligns with indigo.
And Saturday. That must be Saturn.
Saturday, Saturn digit 7, the god sun aligns with violet.
That is a very specific 7-day chromatic prescription.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating is how the author uses this practical list to issue one final specific challenge to convention.
Right, returning to that core theme of separating knowledge from illusionary tradition.
He focuses specifically on Saturday, doesn't he?
He does. The day of Saturn, Shani, which we know is digit 7, the son of the god family. The author acknowledges that many priests say to wear black color cloths in Saturday.
And that's a very common tradition. It likely stems from Saturn's association with discipline, austerity, or even darkness, since it's the furthest planet visible to the naked eye, associated with slowness and shadow.
But the author offers a firm corrective, and it's based on his superior logical framework. He says that since black is the color of dark energy, one should prefer violet color cloths in Saturday for good and positive results.
This is a perfect microcosm of the author's entire project.
It is.
He accepts the premise, Saturday is governed by Saturn, but he rejects the traditional application, which is wearing black.
If the color black is metaphysically counterproductive, if it's dark energy, then the author provides the optimized, logical alternative violet that aligns with the desired positive result.
Which is good fortune, not darkness.
He is saying that tradition, even in something as simple as choosing a shirt color, can be fundamentally flawed if it's not rooted in true knowledge.
The system must always prioritize logic and positive outcome over historical myth. The pursuit of good and positive results is the ultimate test of the Matrix's validity.
Absolutely.
So after all of that, what does this all mean? This deep dive into just one chapter, chapter 24, the digit story, has been an incredible journey through synthesis,
It really has.
taking a handful of numbers and building an entire functioning universe around them.
We witnessed the complexity of how the 9 basic mathematical digits were translated into a full cosmic structure. It details familial relationships, father, guru, son across 3 distinct realms, god, human, demon. It really does merge numerology, planetary science, and mythology into one cohesive system.
And along the way, we uncovered some really surprising philosophical elements, that familial connection of the 3 great gurus, Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus.
Which suggests a single shared source of cosmic wisdom.
Right, making the conflict of the universe functional rather than, purely moral at its highest level.
And maybe most radically, we saw the author's explicit questioning of historical mythological accounts.
The stuff related to the human column.
Yeah, challenging that traditional Rahu Ketu narrative in favor of a purely mathematical structure that places Uranus as the son of the moon, fundamentally shifting our understanding of humanity's planetary lineage.
And it's so important to remember that this chapter is just one cornerstone of the larger work, The Legend Mind. The Digit story is just one of many legend-unique questions that are posed in Unit 2.
Right, the author leaves all these neighboring profound questions for others to refine. Questions like the origin of universe, I theory,
Or the parallel universe, bead theory.
and the very mathematical origins of numbers themselves. He has chapters on one is the mother of real number system, and then subsequent chapters on zero and its own shades.
It just reinforces the author's whole premise, doesn't it? He presented these findings in a rough way, or big picture, specifically so that professionals across various disciplines could work smarter to achieve better knowledge.
It's an urgent request. He's asking scientists, astrologers, mathematicians to drop their disciplinary silos and look at this matrix as a kind of unified field theory, a starting point.
So the final provocative thought for you, the listener, is this. The author used the 9 basic digits to map the entirety of cosmic existence. He challenged ancient traditions when they failed to align with numerical order. If he successfully demonstrated that the most rigid structures of reality, family, power, ethics, can be derived purely from the structure of 1 through 9, what does that imply about all the seemingly chaotic or inexplicable events in the universe?
Is the universe itself just a vast, elegant, and maybe solvable equation, just waiting for the right variables to be assigned to those 9 essential numbers?
And if the numbers 1 through 9 are so potent, if they're capable of structuring the entire cosmos, what fundamental hidden power awaits us when we finally decode the ultimate mystery the author leaves unsolved?
Zero and its own shades.
Zero and its own shades. It's a fascinating and mind-expanding question. If math is truly the language of the universe, then the legend just provided us with a revolutionary new dictionary. Thank you for joining us for the deep dive.